we are a very minimal contributor to GHG gases and others, but the reality of climate devastation is here with us. CFAN has a very vital and timely role.
5 years ago, CFAN was an idea rooted in a strong belief that countries on the front lines of climate change should not have to navigate the climate finance system alone. Today, that idea has become a network, one that has supported over 150 climate projects, built a pipeline of more than $2 billion, trained over 1,000 practitioners, and worked alongside a growing community of 25 members and partners to turn plans into projects and projects into investments, unlocking climate finance that might otherwise never arise. Across our global CFAN portfolio, both the Pacific and the Caribbean, the CFAN advisors have built a pipeline of over $2.6 billion. So that's project proposals at various stages, adding up to that total. Of that, about 230 million have been approved. So projects have been submitted, gone through all the cycles, and been approved, and that money is flowing. Those projects are, in many cases, being implemented now.
Through CFAN, a 7 million initial grant was turned into a 2.6 billion project pipeline across 20 countries, representing hundreds of projects designed to build stronger coastlines, more resilient food systems, and cleaner, more secure energy systems.
What really makes CFAN unique is the capacity support that's provided alongside the work that our advisors are doing. The work that CFAN does and provide is quite critical to the region in terms of how we ensure that the project pipelines are aligned. Our advisors sit within ministries. Once we embed a national advisor, the national literally takes over in terms of the work program, in terms of the activities, in terms of the project that they focus on. All those are determined by governments. While small islands are especially vulnerable to climate impacts, they have also been leaders when it comes to innovative and resilience. CFAN opens up the bottleneck between the country priorities and the critical finance that allows them to become a reality.
And it's really nice to see how 5 years of work coming to fruition, and then we unlocked over $300 million across Pacific and Caribbean. We trained thousands of people, and also we built really strong, lasting relationships. Now, any country I go to, people know what CFAN is, and they're happy to work with us.
No, the challenge for the Pacific, in my experience, has been access. Our needs are so huge that public finances is just not enough to meet all the needs. And getting private sector to fill that gap has been so challenging. But for multiple reasons, we are a highly vulnerable region. Risks are so high. Scale is a problem, so bankability is always an issue. So that is where CFAN actually comes in. Because we have advisors. We have advisors coming in and sitting in ministries and talking to the right people and says, okay, this thing is not working. Your PFM system is not robust enough to handle a $20 million project. What can we do? So that's where CFAN's readiness and institutional strengthening capability actually kicks in.
Kia ora, tātou katoa tō te tiro o mano te tātou atua. My name is Aileen Story. I'm from the Cook Islands, and I am the CFAN advisor for the Cook Islands. As a Cook Islander, I've lived in the outer islands. I've lived on the mainland. I've spent most of my time in the Cook Islands, so my family is deeply rooted in the island, and I've got children there. So for me, it's about helping our people, not just our elderly, not just my generation, but also, my children and the future generations to come.
I think the issue sometimes is the finances available doesn't fit. So I feel like, it's like you bring an American plug and it's a, Australian socket and you can't make it fit. So I feel like sometimes as an advisor, we're kind of the adapter plug to try to mix and match sometimes.
At RMI, we're honored to serve as the network coordinator for CFAN. So coordinating the network across both regions, Pacific and Caribbean. And here in the Pacific, we're fortunate to work with 2 implementing partners who then go on to hire the advisors and help us implement the program in the Pacific. And that's GGGI and SPC.
Climate finance is critical because at the end of the day, countries are under pressure to accelerate climate action. In the Pacific, we are only responsible for 0.03% of GHG emissions. So we've really not contributed to it, but we're one of the biggest bunch of countries that are vulnerable to climate change. So addressing climate action is very important. It requires money, so CFAN helps governments to access such funding.
I have often referred to CFAN advisors. We talk about project pipelines, and I have often referred to the CFAN advisors as the plumbers, unblocking the pipeline. It's not necessarily that they're installing it or whatever, but making sure that the things are flowing the way they should be. And as I say, sometimes it's a series of micro successes that lead to a bigger picture achievement. First incremental cost of adaptation is the people to do the work. The first and most critical added value of CFAN is having a person to do the job, someone that you can rely on and call on to say, hey, we've got this problem, can you help us to solve it?
I am of the very strong view that CFAN is here to stay. It will not only build capacities, it will streamline and lessen the time and enhance the effectivity and the efficiency of project rollout.
Island communities can build a more secure and lasting future, and over the past 5 years, we have seen the growing confidence of countries to lead and to design solutions that reflect their realities and to deliver on their own terms. CFAN is not only mobilizing finance, it is mobilizing people, partnerships, and possibilities.
This climate is not unknown anymore. I think we're much more comfortable with our own situations, how it impacts us and those kind of things. So we understand it and we prepare. I feel hopeful for the future.